r/AskReddit. What is the strangest compliment you have ever received? I was minding my own business in a New York bar. I was sleepy and yawned a lot because it was late. This random person who I'd never met before approaches me and asks me a question. Are you a native of Boston? You yawn the way people in Boston move is yawn. I'm from Boston and he was from Norway. Years ago, I was working out at my high school's gym. This young lady approaches me and says something along those lines. It's completely unjust. I'll never have ankles as good as yours, no matter how much I work out. You're fucked. Prior to storming out, I'm also a man. The "you're fucked" at the end throws me off. I was told that I have nice legs by some random guy that didn't have legs at Walmart once. Well, say goodbye to your legs. Soon will be on sale in eBay. A random girl passed me at the mall one time. We made eye contact for maybe a second. Then she just said nice pants and kept on walking. My roommate said she was talking about my butt, but I like to think I had some sweet pants on that day. Reminds me, I was walking in a mall. A man was walking the opposite direction of me and staring at me. I must have given him an annoyed look. When he gets past me he yells, quite angrily, "You're beautiful." I guess he had to tell me why he was staring. One time, a dude selling solar panels door to door told me this is 100% meant as a compliment, but you totally look like John Travolta in Grease. I'm a woman. But to be fair, I do kinda look like John Travolta in Grease. You have a very expressive face. I stumbled out of an after hours club at like 8 AM and hopped on transit home. I scanned the bus and found a seat. Once I sat down, another guy around my age said that. The guy probably knew I was fucked up and messing with me still makes me laugh. I was washing my hands in a gas station and this lady told me I'm very good at washing my hands. Then she leaned close and said, "No, really, I'm a health inspector and I'm very impressed." I was assisting an older lady trying to fill out an unemployment claim and she looked down and said, "You have nice veiny hands. I love veiny hands." She's a nurse or a vampire. "When you cry, you look like a sad otter. It's very cute," said to me as a 27-year-old man. In their defense, otters are adorable, and age is not inversely proportional to adorableness. I was told by a random lady in the grocery store that I have birthing hips. I'm a 26-year man. Not sure if it was a compliment, but it was definitely strange. I was working with a Hutterite client, introduced myself and went to shake his hand. He responded with, "My name is Joseph. You have excellent birthing hips, my child." My male colleague stepped in and handled the rest. I was dressed as a zombie for a scare acting job at a haunted house. Full on gore, horrendous outfit, the works. I scared a group of lads, and then as they were walking away I heard, "Dude, was it just me, or did that zombie have a fantastic ass?" A friend recently told me you have a very conventionally attractive laugh. I wasn't paying attention to how I was laughing at the time, and I'm kind of a wreck over wondering how I was laughing to be able to recreate it. I probably laugh entirely differently now that I've been alerted to it. I've been told that my laugh sounds like a laugh, like if you made a Wilhelm scream of a laugh. They didn't say it like a compliment though. I too am now stressed about laughing all the time. Accidentally shot the speculum back out at my gynecologist, and they told me I had impressively strong uterine walls. Thanks. Yeah doc, like a fucking bear trap. My BFF introduced me to his new girlfriend as the guy who would help hide the bodies. This is the highest level of bro compliment. I was walking to a smoke shop in the winter, so I fully wrapped my face and hair in a scarf. Only my eyes were visible. When I got to the smoke shop and purchased my item, the cashier told me I was the most beautiful Indian woman in the world. I was so flattered. All this man could see was my eyes. I didn't have the heart to tell him I'm not Indian, I'm black. I just took the compliment and felt great all day. I was once told you have perfect anatomy. I was spread eagle in labor with my kid and my nurse was prepping me for a catheter. I just kinda laughed and said thanks. I grew it myself. My partner and I were at a David Sedaris reading in Glasgow years ago. We had dressed up a bit. I was wearing a dress with a square neckline. After the reading, we went up to him to get our books signed. When it was my turn, he looked at me and said, "Wow, you've got fantastic breasts." I said, "Thanks. They're real." To which he replied, "I know, I can tell." For the stit, David Sedaris is gay. Somehow, that made the compliment more meaningful. A bodybuilder once asked me how I managed to get my calf muscles so sculpted. I haven't ever done a single calf workout in my life. That I have perfect eyebrows. I'm a guy and I get this one pretty frequently from women. I don't do anything with them, and it's made a few female friends of mine jealous over the years. I don't understand how or why they're perfect, their eyebrows, but, as I said, I get this one a lot. I was working as a cashier at a dollar store and normally got compliments for having a nice voice. One day a customer was checking out and making small talk. He ended with, "You have a really nice voice. You could be a phone sex operator." I had no idea how to respond. A gay man once told me, "I don't normally top, I'm just not a fan. But God, I'd top that ass." I was not topped, but I was flattered that my ass was worth topping, I think. First thing coming to mind was the farmer I work for complimenting my deep squat as we crouched planting onions. Oh, and another time I was at a metal gig headbanging away and suddenly I get a whack on the head. I looked up and realized there's this huge bald guy in front of me and he had just headbutted me. So I headbutted him back and we went back and forth smashing our heads together for a few seconds, and then he straightened up, looked at me and said, "You're cute," and walked away. Never saw him again. And my head hurt like fuck. Damn, you go hard for a guy wearing a cardigan. I've shared this story before, but to give a little background, I absolutely love punk rock and especially love being in the pit at shows. However, I don't really look the type to be there most of the time. In late 2019 I went to see the Distillers in concert in Minneapolis. I had been wanting to see them ever since I was 16 years old, but I never got a chance before they broke up because I was too young for most of their shows. So, with that said, I was super excited for this show. Since I had been waiting about 15 years for it, I decided to wear a grey button-up shirt and a beige cardigan with dark blue jeans. I looked pretty normal, but definitely stood out at the show full of a bunch of punks wearing all black and studs. The show gets going, and I'm having a blast in the pit. I was in it for nearly every song, stopping briefly to catch my breath for a bit before being pushed back in. During one of these breaks, this biker-looking dude with a shaved head, tattoos, and a long grey beard puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Damn, you go hard for a guy wearing a cardigan." I thought it was a hilarious and very unexpected, so I just gave him a nod and made my way back in. Definitely paid for it the next day as I was pretty banged up all over, but it was such a great show, and that super random and kinda strange sounding compliment really helped make that night special. A homeless man approached me when I was 18 and yelled, "You have beautiful hair. You could sell it for $800. I looked into it and he wasn't wrong. Still kept it though. Was at work, saw a friend in the cafeteria, went over to say hello. Her friend, who I didn't know, basically started eye-fucking me, telling me I looked great. This was fine, and I was okay with the compliment. Where it got weird was when she kept going. See, I had gained some weight, about 40 pounds past my comfortable 180. This woman straight up tells me I look like a bag of tasty oatmeal while making hum noises. I just looked at her and said, "Never ever, ever tell a man he looks like a bag of oatmeal. It's not the compliment you think it is," and left with my head down. Made the mistake of telling two lady friends later. To this day they still call me oatmeal despite the fact I'm back to my 180. Back in my days as a physics grad student, one of the known weird-ass professors came up to me in the department coffee area and said, "I like the smell of your hair. This isn't sexual harassment," and left. Obviously that became a running joke amongst the grad students, because come on. Your eyes are so pretty I would gouge them out with a spoon and keep them under my pillow. You would be a great cult leader. I have heard this so many times from many independent sources. I'm not on social media much anymore because of this. I worked with this Colombian meat cutter named Ramundo. One day out of the blue, he looked at me and said, "I like you. You work hard, like my father's donkey." That was years ago and is still the best compliment anyone has ever given me. I worked in retail for a while, over 10 years ago at this point, and while I was helping a customer, a different customer came up on my side and tried to touch my eyelashes. It rightly so startled me, and I jumped back. The person trying to touch them said, "You have such lovely eyelashes." I had to see if they were real. I was 15, filled with teenage angst and insecurity. A woman came up and said, "You're going to be really hot when you're about 25. You're not now, but you will be." Thanks. I love how arched your eyebrows are. They make you look so intimidating. I have naturally arched eyebrows, and I soon realized that people don't exactly think I look the friendliest, to say the least. Sure, it was a compliment, but it sounded like one, so I'll tell the story. One day I'm walking down the street to the mailbox. It's a nice day out. Some old dude in a convertible Cadillac with the top down is rolling down the street at like 5 miles per hour without a care in the world. We make eye contact for a second, and so I just kinda gave him the friendly nod. He returns the nod, but says, in a rolling baritone voice that would make Barry White jealous, "Get them hose, man." Sadly, I was unable to retrieve said hose. I wonder if he'd be disappointed. He really spoke like he believed in me. On a market on my holiday in Cambodia a few years back, a local woman told me how jealous she was that I'm so pale. This is strange for us Westerners who often seek to get a nice tan. Over there, having a tan means that you probably work on the field all day and must be poor, while being pale means you must be wealthy and live in the big city. Being really pale is desirable and seen as beautiful over there. Your eyes look like they can look through my soul. Okay, thanks, I guess. One of my best friends is an absolute sap, and anytime he gets drunk he goes up to people, lovingly caresses their face, and gives them a very specific compliment. The first time he did it to me, he was like, if I wasn't absolute shit at art, I'd spend days trying to sculpt your side profile, just to accurately show you how perfect your nose is. You look like a Roman goddess statue and your nose is perfect. And then he started crying about how much he loved me and my wife, and I had to get him crackers and stop him from calling his ex. I love him so much. When I was working retail, I got a mystery shopper report that said I had a great knowledge of the various hams on offer. I worked in a gaming store. We didn't sell any food at all. And that's the end of the video. What's the strangest compliment you've ever gotten? Leave it down in the comments. While you're at it, like and subscribe so that you never miss a Reddit made video.